we bought and moved into our trailer 5 years ago.
Just a hair over 5 years. Oh, actually no, 5 years coming up. We had a huge decision to make. So what was that huge decision?
Do we buy extended warranty?
That was the big question. I think it was around the $5,000 mark.
Yeah.
Canadian funds, of course, but still, it's $5,000. We had to weigh the pros and the cons, and in the end, we ended up getting it, yes.
Yes, we did. So, was it worth it, is the big question. Well, I have a list here that says it might have been. So let's go through the things that we have had in the last 5 years repaired under extended warranty.
Or replaced.
Yes. One of the first items I recall getting done was the dinette slide. What was going on with that again?
Well, with our extended warranty, let me explain. We did pay a premium to get extended warranty, and that also gave us a zero deductible, and they would also come to our site, which is 20 minutes away from the dealership in Langley, BC at Travelland. They would come to our site and do the work. This particular issue, there was a screw sticking up from one of the slides of the slide, one of the skis of the slide, shall I say, and it was actually making a track underneath on the bottom side of the slide. Hi. You're probably wondering why I'm sitting underneath my slide. Well, we've had a small issue with a gouge in the bottom of the slide, which is exactly 32 inches from the end of the slide, if that matters to anyone. What we figure it is, or what the techs have told us, there is a slide or a rail for the slide at this point. Apparently one of the bolts, when it got installed, is on an angle. It's not properly put in all the way. So what we're going to have to do is take the whole unit in. Since we are living in it, well, we're going to have to spend a day at the dealership, and they're going to have to take the slide off. That time we actually had to take the trailer in because they had to remove the entire slide to do the work.
That was recorded in one of the episodes. I'll put the which episodes we covered those items in the comments below. Okay, next was the leaf springs.
Yeah, the leaf springs, can't remember exactly how long it was. It was probably at least 2 years, 2.5 years in, and they started to frown. In other words, they were, instead of being nicely rounded, they were starting to flatten out. Here we are under the trailer, and we have a minor warranty issue. It's not a huge deal. Fairly easily swap out, but I'm gonna let the dealer do it. The issue is the leaf springs are starting to flatten out. We've had it for just a hair over 2 years. It's a 38-foot 315 RLTS travel trailer, and I will give you a little peek at what they look like. And I have my trusty headlight here. It's like 20,000 lumens, so it should light it up pretty good for you. And also I'll show you the shackles that I've recently put on there as well. So as you can see, the leaf springs have flattened out. We've got just over 14,000 kilometers on the trailer right now. As you can see, I've switched out the wet bolts and the shackles, but not the center point equalizer, as it's a really good unit from Lippert. The shackles were 1/4 inch and these have gone to a 1/2 inch. So I've got the other ones as spares because there was nothing wrong with them at all. But anyways, the main issue for being under here is these leaf springs. As you can see, they're flattened out pretty good. And we had those replaced, and it wasn't a big job.
It was the same time I got new tires too.
Yeah, I did a lot of research on replacing it myself, so I was going to carry a spare in case we had issues down the road. Changing leaf springs is not a big job. But if it's under warranty, why not have it covered?
Yeah, and we got new tires at the same time, so yeah, that was all good. And then we hit the summer of 2021. There's that thing called a heat dome that happened.
That was nasty.
There were several things that went sideways. Number one was the fridge.
The fridge. Yeah, we were sitting at, I believe it was around 47 Celsius for roughly 4 days. And our fridge died.
Well, it calved before we even got to the heat dome.
Yeah, it was not in great shape. We were having issues with it, not freezing things properly and not keeping everything as cold as it should. But this heat dome just kicked it hard.
Yeah. It's so stinking hot. Our thermostat is reading 36. Got the AC on as high as it's gonna go. It's on high, it's been running for hours. When we first came in from outside, it was not bad. The fridge went up a degree, Brent. I'm sure everything is unthawing and stuff in there. We've got this fan on, sucking heat out. We have the other fan from the microwave, hopefully sucking some heat out.
We're currently sitting at 44.
Outside?
Yes.
I don't know how to do this, I really don't. So it took a little problem solving, and they kept changing out boards and stuff, and it was a several trip.
They were changing out all the different components, and finally the one component that they did change out, it was a two-man job. They changed the entire cooling unit, which is roughly a $5,000 part.
Yeah, we're gonna add up all these things, and we'll tell you what the total was at the end. So in conjunction with that same trip, our gray tank separated.
Yeah, it was actually the pipe that feeds into the gray tank from the kitchen, and actually no, it was just the kitchen sink that feeds into that gray tank. Right where it feeds in had separated. So the tank had gotten so full that it actually pulled down and cracked a piece of like right at the top of the tank. There was a small hole in there, and that's not a good thing.
Water just kept running out when it got full.
Yeah, it was filling the underbelly, and we didn't realize it until we were driving down the road and there's a big trail of water behind us.
What's going on with this tank?
So this is our old gray tank that has been just replaced today. And as you can see, there is a small crack along here. When it is installed, it is butted up right here on the rails underneath. And that is a fairly common occurrence on some of these gray tanks. It was welded into place, not bolted. So that's why we had to bring it into the shop to get it done properly. But that little crack there, just a stress fracture. But when the tank did fill up, it started to leak and caused the problem that we have now. It's all fixed. Thank you, Travelland RV and Light.
The other thing that calved was our AC unit. These were all sort of simultaneous.
Oh yeah, actually yeah.
We didn't have any AC during that heat dome.
Yeah, we had
like,
an
no!
older dog. Maddie was getting on in age. She was 10 or 11 years old. And
Really quiet.
yeah, we had Maddie. She was getting on in age, 10 or 11 years old, and we had two fans on her, blowing directly on her, so she could actually breathe. It was nasty. Not having an AC. A lot of people have two AC units. We only have the one.
Yeah.
And I actually went to a Canadian Tire and bought a couple extra fans just to move air around. So
It was just moving hot
so
air.
we could stay in. We stayed inside away from the sun, but we couldn't go outside because it was hotter outside than it was inside, and that heat dome was just nasty all around.
Yeah. So 3 things that went then. And just a little correction because I'm that way. Maddie was actually 14, and Maddie did pass later that summer too.
Well, I knew she was getting on. I thought in 2021 she was.
It was
a little
probably
bit younger.
about a month and a half before she passed when the heat dome hit. The heat dome was not the problem. She was just an old dog. All right, moving on. So we're just gonna go in not necessarily a particular order that things happened. Those were just things I remember how and what order they happened. We also, I think it was the same year, possibly early the next year, we had a problem with our toilet. The water wouldn't stop running.
Yeah, one of the, I guess it's a check valve or a shut-off valve on the toilet itself that came with the trailer. It was about a $5 part, and I could have changed it myself. I reported it to warranty, and they just gave me a new toilet, and I put that in. It was a very easy change. 2 bolts, the old one came out, put the new one in, done.
And it turns out...
And actually, one thing I want to point out, when I did replace the toilet, I put a ball valve in the water line feed to the toilet, so if we ever have an issue in the future, I can just shut off the water feed to it instead of having to keep stepping on the water, instead of going outside and shutting off the water so it's not continually feeding.
Yeah. Okay, toilet, that. And then propane regulators.
Yeah, propane regulator, that was fairly early on. That was probably within a year and a half of us getting the trailer. I didn't realize it was a warranty item, which Traveland replaced it, no problem. But I had also bought one, and that was the heat dome trip.
Was it?
That was on the heat dome trip because I bought it in Vernon. I do remember that.
I remember doing that.
I remember buying the extra regulator. Mm-hmm. And then when I got back to town, I told Traveland about it. They gave me another regulator, so I do have a spare for that.
Yay.
And that worked out.
Yeah. Just going backwards on the list here. Check valve and connections. I don't know what that's for.
Yeah, that was on the back of the hot water tank. The check valve.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the check valve got ruined. It was just a plastic one, so Traveland replaced it with a brass one. I didn't realize it was a warranty item as well, so I did go and buy a brass one. So now I have another spare regulator, spare check valve, and then they replaced the plastic connectors on the back of the hot water tank with brass ones. So much better, so much more reliable. You don't have to worry about them cracking.
So another item that we had replaced was these light strips at the front. You can't really see them because it's so lovely and sunny today.
The LED V strips, we leave them on most of the time. It's not a big draw. And we weren't even aware that there was a problem. There was a little bit of the glue or the outside coating was lifting. And then Carly at Traveland mentioned, those are covered under warranty. So she ordered us a new set in, and they came and replaced them a couple days later.
Yeah. So, yeah, the ends were curling, and there was a couple of spots that they weren't working, and that's what she noticed, and then offered to have those replaced. So that was another item. One of our trips when we returned, we noticed that the tires were wearing unevenly on the back axle.
Yeah, it was in one of my post-trip checks. Checking the tire pressure. I didn't check the torque on the lug nuts because, well, it's the end of the trip. You don't need to, because I do it at the start of every trip. But anyways, I checked the tire pressure and the tire wear and found out that the rear right tire was wearing flat on the inside. Turns out it was a bent axle.
So the axle was replaced.
And that was replaced under regular warranty.
Oh, I'm falling over.
And turns out that the same axle is bent again, and I'm upgrading to 7,000 pound axles, but this is not covered under extended warranty.
So to clarify, Brent, the axle was not covered under extended warranty. It was regular warranty.
Correct. It was replaced on site, and it was regular warranty issue. Since it has bent again, it is out of regular warranty, and the extended warranty will not cover it. So that's coming out of our dime, or out of our pocket. That's okay, but well, that's the way it goes.
So one of the other items inside that we had replaced was the fireplace. Why was that replaced? I don't remember.
It was giving us error codes, and it would intermittently shut off, and then it would turn back on. Heat would work, the lights would work, then neither one would work, then one or the other would work.
What's been going on with the fireplace, and why are we getting it replaced?
Well, we had some dust issues. I've recorded a little bit about when I took the unit out of the wall. It's fairly easy to take out of the wall. There was, around the fan and the blower, there was some dust bunny buildup, shall we say, and that was causing a lot of error codes where I'd turn it on and it would pop the breaker, and then I'd turn it on and I'd get an error code, so I would have to shut the breaker off or pull it right out of the wall and unplug it. So that got to be a real pain. I spoke with Carly at Traveland, and she ordered us a new one, which this exact model is not made anymore, but there is a replacement, which is a flat glass replacement instead of the curved glass. Otherwise, they work the same.
Okay, so fireplace was replaced. There's one more item which we had replaced recently that you heard about that is on the front of the trailer. And the last item we had replaced was the tongue jack.
This one here. Originally we had a Stromberg Carlson, 3,500 pound. And when I called to ask about warranty issues, they didn't have any in stock, but they had Lippert. Just as good, different brand name. And this puppy was around 550 retail, so that's all bonus, including the 1 or 2 hours of labor that they put on top of it for warranty work.
Yeah, I found some sunglasses. Yay! So we totaled it all up. We didn't get exact prices of what the dealership used. We had to go and hunt down prices on all the items that were used because they didn't tell us how much their price was.
We never got any paperwork for any of the warranty issues, so they just replaced it and it's out of our hands.
Yeah, anyway, so we found the numbers that correlate with the items that we had replaced.
A good
and
ballpark anyways.
That came to around $12,500 before labor cost.
Yeah, labor costs, I'm guessing, would be in the $5,000 to $6,000 range, if all totaled. I know the fridge was a huge part of that. There was a couple guys working on that off and on. It must have been at least 10 or 12 or 15 hours just for the fridge alone.
Well, just the number of trips it took to try and figure out
they had to come in quite a bit.
What the final result was going to be. Mm-hmm. So, was extended warranty worth it?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
It was totally worth it. So I hope you enjoyed that. Hope that was good information for you. And that's all we're sharing with you this week.
Give us a thumbs up if you like what you see.
Don't forget to subscribe.
And ring that bell for notifications.
Bye-bye for now. Oops, where are we? Next. Leaf springs. Hang on. Still recording. Sure. Okay.
We actually took it into Traveland. We had an issue, and I can't remember exactly what it was.
One of the things.
It was something that couldn't be worked on at our main site here.
Was it the gray tank? Might have been.
No, the gray tank was fixed here.
No, they only have to take it in and we welded, remember?
Oh, that's... No. Yeah, he cut the welds here. Okay. Let's start that one again.
Stop that.
I have to. Nobody else will.
Okay. Can I carry on about the axle?
Go ahead.
All right. All right. So
your timer's probably going off.